It's all coming together right here now. It's all coming.
Bruce Bauman, we are Change Colorado, coming to you today from LA. Lots of West Coast hospitality out here today. It's been a great day. I'm with Jeff Berwick here, dollarvigilante.com and the Anarchast.com, and huge inspiration to me. Lots of really, really great insight, and another human being who's decided to stop drinking alcohol. I'm at about 6 months. How long are you at?
I think just over 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's good. It's feeling great. Now, I'm asking a lot of people the same questions and trying to get a really feel for different stories. What was your story on what kind of propelled you to take action, inspired you? What was that kind of moment in time, if there was one? Lots of people also say that, it was not just one thing, it was a building, but what was the first thing that started it?
That's a good question. I think what really started it was I started looking into Austrian economics. I read The Creature from Jekyll Island. I started to realize how the monetary system worked, and I started to get more and more into that, and I really studied it for about 10 years. And it was around 2009, and I really understood it, and I knew that there's going to be a collapse. I actually predicted that 2008 collapse, financial, whatever they call it now, the financial crisis, they call it. Yeah, whatever they call it, whatever the buzzword is. And so I decided that not many people knew about this sort of information. So I started the Dollar Vigilante to start talking to people about what's really going on, because they're not hearing the truth on their mainstream media from CNBC, CNN, and even their government-registered financial advisors are definitely, they're not even aware of what the money system is. They don't even know about...
They don't even know the Fed is a private bank. They have no idea, and they're in that system working for those people, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's all one and the same. Actually, it doesn't even matter if the Fed is private or public, because it all just works with the government just to print money, to allow the government to go into debts, to go into more wars, to just destroy more things.
So, if there was one issue, something that each and every person here at this show and at their own house behind their computer screen, what was the one issue that would unite us all?
I think people really need to wake up and realize that they're sovereign individuals and to take responsibility in their own lives. Government is an unnecessary evil, in my opinion. Government does no good, and first of all, it's based on theft and violence. That's all government is. Mao from China, who killed over 80 million people with his version of government, said that government comes out of a barrel of a gun. People just need to realize that government is an unnecessary evil. If we can have actually more governments, we'd have a better world. And this is the funny thing, and let me explain that. Because what they're trying to do is have less government. So that's what the Eurozone was about, and they're trying to move towards a one world government, which they talk about from time to time, as you know. But the more governments there is, the better. So if we can eventually have every state in the U.S. become its own sovereign government, that would be better. And then once we get to that point, if every city became its own sovereign government, that would be much better. The more localized, the better, until we eventually get to the best state possible, which is 7 billion governments on Earth. Every single person is a sovereign individual. And then we will have peace and prosperity like we've never known it.
Yeah, and really, that's one of the main solutions that I always say is go meet your neighbors. Let's start there. If you can meet your neighbors, you really build your community out from there, from the ground up. That's what it's really all about, just getting to know those people. Now, a lot of times with activists, I see a lot of people getting depressed. I see a lot of people getting apathetic, thinking that they can't do anything about this condition that we see, these sprays that go on, and I've been seeing them in LA today. What can inspire people to take action based out of love rather than that fear?
Yeah, first of all, I want to comment on what you were saying about people not even talking to their neighbors. This is all because of the systems we live in. It drives people away from each other. So people are scared to just talk to their neighbor if they have a problem. They just call 911 and hope the police deal with it. And this is all a result of this system. It actually separates us as human beings. So, for example, in Mexico, no one ever calls, I live in Mexico a lot of the time, no one ever calls the cops. If there's a problem, the whole community gets together and solves it. And that's a much, much better solution. Now, talking about people getting a little depressed, that's the stages of waking up. Most people will go through that phase if they start to wake up. If people believe in what they see on TV and all that is true, and once they start to wake up through things like We Are Change and realize that a lot of that stuff is a lie, a lot of people will go through a certain period where they'll be a little depressed. That's fairly normal, but don't get out of that phase as quickly as possible, because it's actually a very positive thing what we're talking about. We can create change. We are creating change. Luke Radowski and everyone at We Are Change has done so much to wake people up, and as people wake up, it's going to be fantastic. We've seen Condoleezza Rice have to cancel an appearance last week due to protests. Eric Holder, the gun runner, Attorney General of the U.S., he had to cancel an appearance. And Dick Cheney can't go to Canada anymore. George W. Bush can't go to Switzerland because they'll arrest him on war crimes. This is all a part of the awakening, and people are waking up, and it's actually very positive. So don't get too depressed that you think this whole system sucks. It does suck, but it's going down. It's going to go down even if we don't do anything because of all the debt that they built up. The U.S. government has $17 trillion worth of debt. That's $1.7 trillion a year in interest payments. If interest rates rise to even 10%, that's the entire budget of the U.S. government. So these systems will collapse, and all we need to do is spread information and make people aware of what's going on, because then this transition out of this status phase into a much more free and peaceful world will go much better if people understand what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And I think one of your quotes that really sticks with me is just, how it's not, how are we going to get everybody not to just to kill each other? How are we going to get people to, if the system goes down, because I don't know if it's guaranteed going to. I used to think it was guaranteed going to, but it might just keep on going. Who knows? But if it goes down, how are we going to get all these people to work together with their own resources instead of banding together to go steal other people's resources? That's the thing that I think we need to focus on, one of the most. But really what it comes down to, like you said, take responsibility for yourself. I've been saying that all weekend. Take responsibility for yourself. Change yourself. People will see that you've changed yourself. They'll be inspired to change themselves. And that's how we're going to change the world. Jeff Berwick, Bruce Bauman, We Are Change Colorado. It's been a great interview. Much love, brother.
Thank you.
Yep. Peace.